WBNT, Channel 5, Boston. Now in stereo.
Video games are the latest craze to sweep the country and most of the world, too. Millions of people are addicted to hours of gazing at electronic images on game screens in arcades and in their own homes. What makes video games so popular? Well, we search for an answer as we begin a special series on Video Fever, games people play.
Part of the fascination is the way the games are designed. Part of it is the sound.
I like the details on it. There's good details on the games.
Electronics is changing so rapidly. And with each change in electronics, it brings something new. So this is not a passing fad. It's a very tough dollar. It's getting tougher. It's not easy. We all want that same buck.
Video games, in a sense, are addictive. Not like drugs, more like the need to jog.
Peer relationships, a source of self-esteem, enjoyment in life, are wrapped up in video games, just as they might be in bowling, running with your cronies with whom you run every Sunday or something of the sort. I have not met anybody who can't go through the day in withdrawal from video games.
When you walk into an arcade, any arcade, come with an open mind. An open mind is easy to expand. Question: is it fair to blame juvenile delinquency on the video game craze?
Hello and welcome everybody back to the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl number 5. That's Cinco for those of you watching in Spanish, presented by Star Esports. Today we have a double elimination tournament dedicated to our Overwatch Tier 3 community. Today we will be watching Scion take on Astray in the main bracket, match number 13. For your casting entertainment, I'm going to be Sir Waltham, joined once again by Moshi. Moshi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been 24 hours since we last were here together casting for All-Star Esports, and I'm glad to be here. We're going to see Scion and Astray. Scion, the winners of All-Star Brawl 4. And we are, of course, on 5, and that was just a few months ago. I'm excited to see what Astray will do in the face of their kingly competition.
Yes, certainly no sleeping for either of these teams. They are in the main bracket, but I'm sure neither one of them looking to drop down into that loser's bracket. Unfortunately, one of them is going to be doing exactly that today. Going to be starting on Oasis as we wait for our teams to get ready, get in lobby. We are still having a few trying to get connected. But Moshi Man, what can you tell us? Can you tell us any more about these teams, rather?
Well, I know that we saw Scion do an amazing job earlier in the tournament. I was able to cast them when they faced University of Akron, and they had a dominant performance. And so that's all I can say about that. Astray, I haven't had too much experience with, but I know that they are, consistent contenders here in Overwatch at All-Star Esports. So they've been around the block, and I think they're going to bring it, Scion. And there's not, despite having a couple ringers this round, I believe we have Nub as a ringer. I know that for sure. And yes. Scion has their full roster, so it's going to be a challenge. But they're not going to give up. So.
Yeah, definitely have to agree. Astray, actually, I believe if we look at the last round where they went up against Castaways, it was a very close match. It went 3-2. They barely clutched it out at the end. So they were able to turn it around. They might be looking with a little bit more fire in them this time around. They definitely don't want to let up off the slack at all in any bit here.
No, not at all, right? Like, they're going to do everything they can to gain that advantage, and maybe they will have that element of surprise from their ringers. Usually they bring in ringers that they have previously practiced with, or they know from other points of contact, and so they could be a bit of a wild card for Scion if Scion has been doing their research. So that could give them a little bit of an advantage here. Our first map is going to be Oasis. If you guys don't see that yet, just take my word for it. We're going to get into our map as soon as we can.
Yeah, we are going to be looking to get in here rather speedily. And before we do, just want to remind you folks that if you're new to the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl community, be sure and give us those social media endorsements, the Twitters, the Discord follows, the tweets, all those good things. We like seeing them. We like having them. We like interacting with you guys as well. Don't forget for that MVP vote down in the bottom. Let those players know who you're supporting, who you're rooting for, and who you think is popping off as we get ready and get settled. Still waiting on just a few readies from the team to actually get moving into Oasis. But Moshi, man, this feels like an appropriate time to kind of talk about the map. What do you think we can see from, obviously Oasis, a 3 sub-map map. What do you think we can see for any of those different types of maps?
Well, of course, it really depends on where we go first, whether it's the college, the university section, or one of the outdoor sections that has a little bit more of a skybox. I know that in the past you've always, and you love to talk about the viability of Pharah. We've seen a lot of Pharah. I have personally actually seen a lot of Pharah in the past on all of the locations. There's a big skybox on the map with the traffic, the road, and then there's a fairly decent one. Like, there's just a consistent high ground on the university side level, and then on the third portion, again, you're just you have cover even as far. You can kind of use those, I don't even know what they're called, but the roof to kind of get cover and quickly retreat. And so it just makes you that much harder to kill. Really solid strategy. Outside of that, probably going to see some meta play, right? On this map now that we're in, we are on, what's this map called? This one's called,
man, this is the one map I have the most trouble with. I believe it's City Center, as we will be seeing on the screen here in about 30 seconds as the teams kind of get settled into the server, or excuse me, a little bit more than 30 seconds by now. But, I mean, all you really need to know about this map is that there's some big potential for some traffic accidents. Well, maybe not big, but potential for traffic accidents.
Very much so. On the other side of the map, though, there's, of course, that jump pad and that huge high ground. A lot of the times we see teams trying to dive onto that high ground using high mobility heroes like Winston, Hammond, especially Diva, now that she's back in the meta, with those 3-second boosters, not letting anyone escape. So that is something I think we're going to see coming out. If not, we're probably just going to have a brawl on the point, and as per the Reinhardt comp dictates.
Yeah, and one thing I'm a little excited for, we're seeing some Winstons line up right out of spawn. We'll see if they actually do lock in with them as the game gets underway. We are going to be seeing them, Crimson and Niche, both opting for that Winston. However, it's going to be a little bit different on the off tanks, both going Wrecking Ball Diva to oppose. A Sleep Dart going early on to Crimson helps them fall early in this fight. Niche focusing on Nub, the ringer, as we mentioned before, for this team. And it looks like the side of Scion going to be taking up that high ground rather aggressively. Chime going to be falling to Gummy, going so low on that Tracer, unable to recall, unable to get out of there. And Psy right now just being a little bit of a nuisance to this Sombra and Shadow Jr., but it looks like it will succeed in getting Psy on the point.
very much so. Not a ton of pressure there from Astray, right? Scion just looking really solid and just kind of saying, no, this is our point. They use that high ground properly, and the combination of Winston and D.Va together, as opposed to the ball and the Winston. The ball was on the back line, but the D.Va and the Winston were together, and so they were able to just burst down whoever their target they decided on.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a sleep onto Crimson as this fight comes to a close. It's going to help to really kind of buy a little bit of time, as that Monkey's just going to be staggered even more, along with Train Cloud. It's going to be the supports trying to claim it back, just not going to be successful.
It's tough to claim this back, right? They have that high ground advantage, and right now it's going to be difficult. You know, there's only one ult online from Love, who is actually, I believe, Cohesion.
Oh, yes.
No, it's Supreme.
Yes, and Crimson going to be taking a boop from PMA Jellies into traffic. We called it a little bit earlier, folks. The hack going on to Lavu, but a lot of ult still online. Lavu going to be focused up with that pulse bomb, but the kills still seeming to go in favor of Scion. They don't care about the reputation of Astray. They're going to come in here and fight for their lives, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Definitely. An interesting thing right now is Crimson is on the back line, or was sneaking around the back line, and now they're kind of spawn camping the some of the DPS in Love at the spawn, and that but Train Cloud gets hit by the car.
Yeah, as does Lavu, and both supports have to invest ults just to get out of spawn. The nano boost onto Lucio. Lucio dropping the sound barrier. Cohesion going to be cleaned up, and if it wasn't for that Dragon Blade, I might say that there's a good opportunity for the swing back here, but Sai going to get nailed down in the middle of their Dragon Blade. Some really interesting ults going on here, but the fight breaking out. This looks like it might be Astray's best opportunity here. And it doesn't look like the hack able to go through from Shadow Jr. Have that EMP up. Going to activate it. Only hits Gummy, though. No D.Va Bomb available. That's going to be crucial as Gummy does get D-mech. Gets hacked. Make sure they can't get back into mech too quickly. Right now, it's just the Winston and Tracer on point for the now defending team. And that point is so close they cannot leave. But the Primal coming out from Crimson, trying to just clear the point a little bit. Get some progress. Get anything they can right now. And right now, it does not seem like Scion wants to give this up. They just keep back and forthing, but the Doomfist getting hacked is lethal for Cohesion, as we see Shadow Jr. gun them down in cold blood. And even the Torbjorn coming out from Chime right now. BMA Jelly is doing a nice job of cleaning out on the double. D.Va Bomb coming in, significant claim. Anything Gummy unable to, but it will still be a good opportunity for that D.Va to get back into mech and re-hop into the fight, taking out the Torbjorn turret, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Ana immediately seen by the dive units of Scion, going to be immediately pounced, and with that, it's to no avail. Scion Esports continues to get 100%.
Well, that was kind of a domination there right in the first round. We saw some interesting picks from Astray, but in the end, you know, they weren't able to use those picks to counter anything specific from the side of Scion. And I think they may have to rethink their strategy here. They clearly can win their 1v1s. They almost capped it right at the end when they were even on when both teams were even on the point. But also the unique strategy of kind of camping the spawn, that was unique, and it gave them a big advantage. But there was just too much mobility from the opposing team, and they weren't able to complete that capture.
Not quite, and it looks like Shadow Jr. going to be taking a note out of Chopper's book from yesterday, going on to the Bastion. Might be trying to set up on this high ground. It might be difficult with this D.Va, however. Winston Bubbles both going down, immediately getting torn. Chime still on this Torbjorn, trying to get some value with that turret. Also gets torn down. Cohesion doing a great job of destroying any deployables that might rear their ugly heads for the side of Scion. And right now, we're seeing the pulled port combo come out from Train Cloud and Crimson, not even using that to really set up for any ults right now. It looks like they're just doing a lot of body blocking. Chime actually going to be getting the first kill, however, but the sleep on the Crimson prevents an aggressive push coming in from Astray. And with that, Shadow Jr. finally getting some kills, finally finding that utility with the Bastion that you need. And Niche getting one kill on the Nub might not be enough. That Brig can be so lethal. When you take her out of the fight, it still doesn't matter.
Seriously, I mean, they just like holed up in that protected area and waited for Scion to push them, waited for them to make a mistake, or maybe just get a random pick off the bat, and that gave them the advantage. They were able to take that point, only giving up about 10%. But Scion's not going to like that. They're going to try to push into the fortress that Astray has formed.
Yeah, and now we're seeing the BAP window coming in right in front of the whole hog. That could be so lethal, as well as the Bastion. We're seeing a little bit of an old school, well, not old school, but we're seeing a little bit of a revival of the bunker comp coming in. And the jump coming in from Nitch with that nano, trying to do all they can to bully this Bastion. Nitch not going to be able to claim the Bastion, but will claim Music Box as a consolation prize. The tank form going to be coming out from Shadow Jr., but not a moment too late as Psy cleans them up. And with this, it looked like they may have had some bunkering down, but Scion going to uproot them at the ground level.
They did a great job of pressuring Bastion there, and they just committed all the resources they had. Now they have just like a lone Roadhog on point who got 2 kills, now 3 kills, and despite going down, he got a ton of ult charge. Basically just going to be able to do whatever they want when they push back, because they're going to have about 3 ults in the face of 3 to 4 ults from Scion. So it's going to be a brawl on the point, although they are not defending, which is the bunker comp is best at.
Yeah, and Crimson right now trying so hard to body block for Shadow Jr. as they did get their shield torn down very immediately. Psy taken down very early. This is a not too friendly of a composition to run dive characters against, and Psy going to be experiencing the brunt end of that. Diva Bomb going in, takes down to the Immort field there to save a lot of members from Music Box. And the kills, once again, going in favor of Astray. It looks like they finally warmed up here, Moshi.
Definitely. This is way closer, way more like back and forth than the first round. Something about this bunker comp just makes this... It's working for Astray.
Yeah, and with Chime getting that hammer kill, it looks like they might have had even more force coming in. And right now, I'm seeing it looks like a Roadhog kind of creeping in back, waiting to get maybe that backlines character. It looks like he might be sneaking up on this Ana. Notices, doesn't decide to go for it. It looks like the rest of the team of Scion's going to notice, though, and going to swarm Train Cloud. Left only a pig for the feeding. And with this, a little bit of time still built up for Astray.
Scion's probably going to win this next fight here due to their ult advantage, unless Love gets picked out, but they also take out that Torb thing. A bunch of ults coming out on the point, and it's a all-out brawl, but it looks like it was over too quickly. So Scion really just using 2 of their ults to just push the entire team of Astray back to their spawn by killing them.
And of course, a brutal kill onto Nub at the back end there. They're certainly going to be suffering. Not a lot of ults on the field, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they had that problem when they were pushed into. Potentially, they could have saved the amplification matrix for their next push.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be the case. Cohesion going to be taking out Chime after a decent Earth Shatter coming in from Nitch, already 33% up to the next one. With that, Nitch going to be swinging strong in this small little hallway. That's where Ryan likes to be. You can't shield against that hammer when it's barreling down on you. You can't avoid it either. But the rotation coming in quickly from Astray. They decide to try to take this Bastion's favorite ground at this point, it seems. The Dragons coming in doesn't seem to find too much value. Nub taking an anti-nade, but has that rally. It's from the big from Spawn coming in, but Shadow Jr. playing a couple kills off the back of it. The Diva Bomb not able to find much, but Gummy does get remexed. Nitch taking a shell to the chest with that, and it does look like Astray going to be able to claim point here once again in overtime.
Just about 2% left. That's going to give them the capture unless anyone can get on the point. Now, 1-1, Astray to Scion Esports here on Oasis for round 1.
Yeah, and right now it is looking tense. Astray did not want to leave that lying in the dirt. They definitely picked it up, dusted it off, and put it on the shelf. And I gotta be honest, Moshi, was not expecting that out of a Bastion Torb comp.
No, I was not expecting that. I mean, like, we know that Bastion can do a lot of damage, and we know that the shield blocks a lot of incoming damage, but something about the expectations that Scion had just didn't line up with what Astray decided to do, and that's what Astray has. They had this surprise factor on their side, and right now it looks like they might be going with the same composition here at University.
Yeah, it looks like it, and I think Scion's going to really have to try to adapt. They're going to be going with the Doomfist Psy on that May. Might be changing it up just a little bit, but we're going to be seeing the high ground taken by Astray. Not too much of a surprise, considering that Bastion can get some incredible value. And the Sigma now to back up the Orisa. No pulled port combo this time. And that Orisa just trying to pull anybody out to get fed and chewed up by that Bastion played by Shadow Jr. And right now, we're seeing the side of Scion do a good job of keeping out of line of sight. It's going to be Crimson on that Orisa, trying to maintain point contest. and they're going to be backed up into this corner, putting the side of Scion in a very tough spot, but Chime drops. Nub and Trincon both get hit by the Earth Shatter, and with that, Scion going to sweep into this room, clear it out, and things are looking good for them right now. Crimson going to be protecting themselves against a pin from Niche, but not for long as the hammer does come and do its justice. Niche continuing to get kills as the Fire Strike goes face first into the Bastion.
Oh man, I don't know if you saw that there, but Cohesion was just like punching Astray into Niche's swinging hammer. It was just like punching them into a Beyblade or something. It was pretty funny, but they did a great job there dismantling the kind of defensive style that Astray had. They just sat. They kind of did the opposite thing of what Astray did on the last map. They sat in the cover and waited for someone to make a mistake.
Yeah, and then a big Nano going to be coming in onto Niche. They're going to be getting aggressive. They're going to be using the Earth Shatter right at spawn, cleaning up Chime and Nub off the back end. You hate to lose that fight.
I mean, you might as well use the Shatter there. It builds up so quickly when you could swing that hammer through 2 or 3 people at a time. Especially, with all of the healing they have coming out from Love. And now we're going to see a bunch of more ultimates coming up online for Scion. They're going to have the defensive beat with the seismic, the gravity slam, seismic slam thing, but Cohesion goes down anyways, so we're not going to see that at least this fight.
Yeah, the Grav Flux instead going to be initiating. PMA Jellies and Psy both using their ults to react. The Torpedo turret getting thrown out, but will be frozen. And once again, Scion looking so strong, but the back cap coming in from Crimson. They're going to be trying to hold him. They might get the flip, not quite. The Lucio and the Doomfist there to respond just in time for their team to react. No point flip.
I mean, that could have been a good play. I think it took a lot of pressure off the spawn there. It's going to allow them to regroup, but they're also going to be down a player in this fight, which is going to make things just infinitely more difficult in the face of especially all of these ultimates that are coming out.
Yeah, Chime trying to drop that hot nacho cheese, the Molten Core coming in, not going to be finding it. Once again, Niche going so aggressive with that on a Nano, and they absolutely find the value for it.
Looks like Traincloud trying to get another back cap here to no avail as Astray rushes to the point. It's basically even, but they don't get there soon enough, and Scion Esports taking map 1 2-1.
Yeah, Scion going to be leading early on in this match here. Of course, we have to play the game by Niche, swinging the big hammer. I'm sure you don't see Reinhardt POTGs that are just shielding. A big fire strike into the grab. It doesn't give a damn about the Torb cheese. Gonna be just going in, getting the pin as well on the Crimson to close out. And overall, man, these were some aggressive fights. I liked that we saw a little bit of a swing back from Astray on Gardens, but I think we're going to need to see them clean it up a little bit more. They can't expect to run the Bastion every time.
Right, like we said before, it's a bit of a surprise comp. They have to start off with it and use the momentum they gain with it from the very beginning. And if Scion is anticipating them running that each time, they're going to prepare for it the next round. So it might have even been more surprising if they were to run a regular composition. That's something meta, like D.Va, Rein, Lucio, Ana, McCree. Like, we haven't seen McCree out yet, so that could take care of some of the pressure that they're seeing from Doomfist. And if you're aware, you can use that grenade to really kind of prevent him from diving in, taking out your supports, and you can kind of support your supports, which is what they need, because sometimes they are helpless after they use all their cooldowns.
Yes, I mean, they protect, but they can't always necessarily attack. So sometimes you got to help them out. Sometimes you got to be a team, give them that attack, I guess, and, have your team commit the smack. But with that, it is going to be on the side, excuse me, it's going to be on the side of Scion to pick a ban map, then Astray to pick a map. You guys know how it goes, like flipping a coin, one side, then the other. And now, Moshi, given what we've seen from Astray and kind of what they've intended to go through with, do you think there's any maps that really give them a great boon to how they're playing?
Well, if they want to run Bastion still, I think that attack defense style maps could work pretty well, since you can basically deny all progress with a bunker style comp if you completely completely defend that first cap point, and like that is the ideal situation. So anyways, we are actually banning Volskaya. So we're not going to have attack defense right now. And I believe the map pick now is King's Row. So King's Row is going to be our pick, and things on King's Row that work. Bunker can work on defense, and Pirate Ship, not so much on attack, right? Like, there's a lot of high ground. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to flank around. You don't always have big, long sight lines like you would on a map like Junkertown. So King's Row, one of the classic maps for Overwatch that everyone seems to love, and I love it too, because we get to see it's just a really good display of skill, always on both sides. They often run meta comps with 1 or 2 counter picks, so I'm anticipating that kind of thing, despite the surprises we've seen from Astray.
Yeah, so far I'm going to make the wildest call that any caster has ever made, and I'm going to say probably going to see some Reinhardt on King's Row. If I had to make that guess. He's just been, with the exception of when Sig Ori was really popular, I think that's been one of the you see him here every time. Even I think like sometimes when Dive was really popular, he just would still just barrel through, not give a single darn about what the enemy team was trying to hold up with against the choke. But that being said, we're going to be hopping into it here real soon as those teams give us the ready. And now, oh man, I'm very excited. I agree. I don't think we're going to see the Bastion, because by the time you're getting the Bastion actually posted up on the cart for that Pirate Ship, you've already had to take first point, and you either have to switch off and suffer some ults forfeiture, or you have to just ride you have to like take first point with Bastion. So probably not the method that Astray is going to be going with here. Right. I'm excited to see what they do go with.
Just the nature of the map, right? Map type, right? Hybrid, like, you lose out because if you want to run Pirate Ship, you're required to switch, which just doesn't work out. That you have that air and that space to put Bastion on the cart on normal payload style maps, but on these kind of things, that control point changes a lot of that. So they're going to want to have a lot of focused offensive pressure on the attack side, which is going to be Astray. Astray is on attack right now, so we see so far we are going to see some interesting things coming out, and looks like they're getting ready to have some Reinhardts, just like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. As well, can't forget that Ana, we've been seeing some pretty good nades so far. I haven't really gotten the opportunity to talk about them because there's just been a lot of brawling, it feels, but some really good anti-nades coming out, so keep an eye out for that as we get going. As well, don't forget MVP vote down in the bottom Twitch chat below. Always got to plug it. And with that being said, we're going to take it to here on King's Row. We're going to be seeing Psy opt into the sim on the defense here. It's going to be great for tearing down these shields of Crimson and Train Cloud. And we're going to be seeing Astray go for a right statue side turn. Train Cloud going to be punished very early by PMA Jellies, but not able to bring them back without too much refute right there. And again, Train Cloud focus down, Niche going for their target, taking their man down as much as they can. Chime, though, really willing to claim that kill back. And the sleep going on to Shadow. That Doomfist absolutely punished. Another anti-nade going on to them. Kills going back and forth, but right now, if they're able to bring it back fast enough, Astray can certainly make the momentum count for them here, Moshi. And with that cohesion, taking an anti-nade has to claim themselves out of battle just for a little bit. And Scion the Reaper, I didn't even notice this after opting off of the sim, but it looks like it's going to be enough for them to hold this point, reclaim it, and not give up even a single tick.
Well, we saw Chime go flying there in the face of Psy as they teleported. That was pretty funny. Anyways, I think that there was just a little bit of mistiming on the attack there. They did a decent job, and they kind of had the advantage for a little while, but just a few 1v1s were lost, and they weren't able to take it.
Yeah, unfortunate cohesion getting knocked out with the right click from Shadow Jr., but quick to claim it back with that blade, getting the dash. The Earth Shatter also coming in from the side of cohesion. Grabflex only going to be catching Chime, and a pin onto Gubby. That is some unfortunate placement. Going to cost them a little bit here, perhaps. Might even cost them some ticks, maybe the whole point, as we start to see some progress being built up for the side of Astray.
There was enough ults used there by Scion that I'm pretty impressed that Astray was able to take that point. And now they have 5 ults. So they're going into this with a huge advantage rounding the corner. If they can put these ultimates on cycle, they will be able to just roll all the way to the last point. But Scion, a serious challenger, could definitely contest that.
Yeah, Shadow Jr. getting hit by an Accretion Rock that immediately followed up with the pin by Niche. That is a good kill onto Shadow Jr. The Earth Shatter coming in, going to be a landing only on the Train Cloud. That Orisa Shield there to knock out the rest of the Earth Shatter. Chime going in big with the Dragon Blade right now. Gummy going to be cleaning them up, however. The Val coming in just to get that res on to the Genji. And Nub going to give a little chest compressions there onto Gummy, claiming them with the melee from the Mercy.
Well, those wings are just so powerful sometimes, right? It gives you that ability to skate around and just kite any sort of real damage. We've also been seeing Shadow Jr. do a ton of work here. Like, they're just diving the backline constantly as they're supposed to, in combination with Chime. That is just an amazing offensive pressure. It seems like Scion is not quite ready for it yet.
Yeah, it does not seem like Scion's been able to recover. It seems like every choke they try to hold down, they're just getting aggressed upon right now. We can see Crimson holding on to this choke as much as possible. The Accretion Rock going to be going in from Gummy, not finding too much cohesion, able to wiggle their way out of the choke, able to claim some distance there for the rest of their team. And cohesion going to be going in with the Nano Blade, trying to find that Mercy, trying to get a little bit of recompense for that melee kill we saw earlier. Not able to find anything, however, eventually gets punched into a wall by Shadow Jr. Music Box going to be taking out the opposing Doomfist, and Orisa getting lifted up by Gummy, trying to do a little bit of dance moves to get out of there. And now we're going to be seeing Chime take the blade, or take the Nano rather, not going to be opting for that blade. Train Cloud so low, not going to be focused down, however. Using the Earth Shatter to claim PMA Jellies, and the cart seems like it's going to keep moving. The pin onto Psy. Looks like that's certainly going to wrap it up with a nice bow here for the side of Astray.
Well, that has been quite the brawl here. We didn't see, like, anything besides the Nano Blade come out, as far as I can remember, but that was, like, the most impactful one anyways. And we see Astray just going all the way here. Like, this is super impressive based on their previous performances. They have the advantage, and they are using it to their fullest here.
Yeah, they certainly seem to be. Train Cloud taking a little bit of a stun, but the out to try to keep everybody bolstered up. The pin going on to Niche, taking them deep into backlines, but the Primal there on deck, ready to go. Chime also going to be dropping that Dragon Blade, trying to claim something. Doesn't seem to find too much, however. That is until they take the life of Luke Mino. Ready to go on to that Ana. Meteor Strike coming in from Psy, putting themselves a little bit in the midline, going to be able to claim the kill on the Music Box, but Shadow Jr. claiming the kill back for their fallen support. Shadow Jr. absolutely going off on both the DPSs of the defense right now.
This is honestly a huge battle between the DPS. We see the same DPS on both sides. Actually, the Tracer has been switched. Cohesion now there. If they can get a huge Pulse Bomb, which is coming up online, that could stall Astray out at the last point. We see their numbers dwindling now, but like, they have had the advantage the whole way on their way here to the last point. Niche now getting a bunch of kills, and looks like they're going to stabilize right at the last point.
Yeah, not a moment too soon. The sleep going to be going on to Niche, but a Fire Strike to wake them up, giving them the hello. And this Ana going to be dove by Niche, continuing to put that pressure on. The Demon Bomb coming in is going to be very tough. Going to claim the life of Crimson, and once again, we're seeing Scion get aggressive to the spawn.
Well, that's a pretty good Demon Bomb, right? Like, you take out half the team, and then you enable the rest of the team to just kind of swing their hammer and do their damage. So, like, that was a good play, despite kind of that weird placement. We see a few hero switches now, and I think Chime is on Soldier, so they may be foregoing the total dive plan, and it could be quite interesting against this composition they have set up now.
Yeah, and Niche going to be setting up for a little bit of a jumping Primal, setting up where we normally see the Reinhardts go for those sneaky shatters. And right now it's going to be Train Cloud just trying to get to cart. Not sure what they're trying to do. They're put in a very uncomfortable spot. Going to be carrying off the Lucio, but killed by an Ana nade before they get the pin.
Well, it seems like Train Cloud is quite the jokester. He went all the way to the last point. I think he was just trying to make space for his team, guys.
Certainly might be the case here. Niche claiming the kill onto Chime, and right now we're seeing a little bit of staggering come in from the side of Astray. They might need to recoup their losses, and with Shadow Jr. going down, that's only going to take longer. This Winston being an absolute nuisance from Niche, it does not seem like the side of Astray know how to deal with it.
Amazing that they're willing to split their team up so much. A ton of ults coming out right here. Only 60 seconds left, and they're deciding to fight right near the spawn.
Yeah, Train Cloud taking a swipe from the hammer, blinking out of dangerous way, but falling right into a fire strike. The pin coming in from Train Cloud, not going to find anything. And Shadow Jr. on the Pharah, immediately a caster favorite in this one. Going to be dropping immediately as they come out of, or as they get very close out of spawn. The anti-nade going to be going all around. Cheers to everybody on both teams. But with that, it seems like the kill's still going in favor of Scion.
I know, they've locked it down. They've got their ult rotation online. It seems like they're taking themselves a little more seriously now. And Astray seeming a bit scattered, right? Like, we've said that before. They have some high mobility heroes, but nothing focused that can really contest the dive style of play that Scion is deciding to force Astray to play against.
Yeah, 5 seconds to get to cart. It's going to be very difficult with this Primal Winston. Can anybody make it? It seems like the Reinhardt will. This Reinhardt seems to always be the first one on cart in the way you'd least expect. Crimson going for the sleep, taking a quick nap. The Diva Bomb coming in from Gummy just to try to secure the cart. Not going to be successful, though, as Crimson managing to stay alive for just a little bit. Overtime's going to start ticking down. Chime popping that tack visor, but not for long, as Gummy has some words to say with them about that. The Moira coming in now from Music Box onto the cart, trying to just keep themselves alive. Not for long, those PMA jellies proves that the superior support stays alive. Round 1 complete, halfway through third.
So they got it quite far. Astray got it quite far, almost to the capture point, despite how far the cart backed up.
Mm-hmm.
They have that point almost near the end, and they don't, if they can defend that last corner, then they can, or if Astray can defend the last corner, then they can win the map, right? Like, I don't think that they're in a bad position at all. They just need to outperform Scion, which is difficult based on their excellent performance on the last map.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really liked the way Nitch was playing, especially that primal moment where they crept behind the Reinhardt as soon as that Reinhardt walked past him, got the pin on him. It looked like that was it for Nitch, but they're gonna be able to reclaim, pull that primal rage, swat away the supports, and from there the rest of Scion collapses. And I'm hoping we're gonna be seeing a little bit more of that. Only time will tell, as these spawn doors are gonna be opening in about 30.
Very much so. I think we're probably going to see... Man, it's been so hard to predict these comps right now. We've seen so many heroes that we haven't seen in so long. Orisa, Sigma, Roadhog, right? Roadhog can just be like an ult battery sometimes, where the enemy team just spams him, and so he's not picked that often. And, like Bastion in the last round, orb of all things. So despite it winning a round for Astray, probably going to be difficult for them to run that kind of thing here. As far as we see now, the most unique pick is probably Junkrat, followed by Roadhog from Astray. Very unique picks there. Going to try to get some spam damage in and just control the enemy that way.
Yeah, Cohesion trying to get some early kills with that Hanzo. Not going to be successful, though. Perhaps being a little too aggressive, playing the angles, getting brought down, but the res coming in from PMA Jellies onto the Bowman side, however, being taken down in turn. No mercy to back up that Pharah combo, and with that, it's looking a little bit sketch, but Jellies gonna be trying to contest taking a single pill to the dome by Chime. Train Cloud actually gonna be brought down. That is a good opening here for the attack. They just need to regroup, recollect themselves before that Roadhog can come back to spawn. There is no Lucio to bring him back.
True. They have that spawn advantage fully on lock due to their offensive positioning right now. And as we see Gummy go down, they're just gaining so much advantage off of their high damage heroes. We see Pharah is now McCree. Sai is playing McCree to contest that with long range against Junkrat. And Scion taking the point without too much trouble, kind of on the second attack.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Crimson kind of held up by that Wrecking Ball, focused down by Cohesion's Dragons. The cleanup comes through, and actually a little bit of stall coming in from the Doomfist and the Roadhog trying their best. Shadow Jr. actually going to be getting some kills. Not going to be too much. The Train Cloud actually hooking Gummy out of the grab flux. Gummy going to be suiciding off the back of their left clicks. Train Cloud, of course, not going to be long for this world, but bought a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that hook is able to give him some ult charge for the future. As you can see now that they do have the whole hog, so that they're going to be able to use that to contest the advance from Scion. Scion has Deadeye and Amplification Matrix, which in combination can be fairly deadly. I think that they're probably going to be looking to defend against that. And hopefully, oh, it looks like Sci's going to fire that off right now.
They're going to be firing it off, just causing a little bit of a backup coming in from Astray. Sci almost getting hooked by the Roadhog, but Train Cloud going to be taking a sleep from PMA Jellies. That's the kind of support play you like to see, especially if it's on your team. Shadow Jr. brawling Niche in this little side room area, not quite able to find it though. The pin going in from Crimson. Shadow Jr. dangerously low. And now we're seeing Chime on this Junkrat in the upper top area. Gonna be dropping that tire, might be looking for some high value with it, but Chime gonna be dropped down from the McCree, claiming cohesion in return. Train Cloud getting hit with the anti as well. And right now it's looking like a little bit of a swing back from Astray. There's just gonna be that McCree on point, the whole hog pop to clean him up, and with that, does not look like that's gonna be the continuation of this push from Scion.
Scion probably, maybe a little bit nervous here. We see that they're stalled out kind of at this corner, which is a corner that can be easy to defend for the defense. It's a nice position that they can take and kind of hold that gives them a little bit of an opportunity to come back from spawn in case they do team wipe, giving them another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know we were going to see it at some point. Chime coming back in on the tour, but not long as Luke Mino cleans them up with that VAP window. The support's kind of putting a middleman squeeze onto the defense right now. Music Box going to be cleaned up by Cohesion. So effective at getting those one-man ultimate kills for the Dragons.
We see Nub getting staggered there. That was pretty important if he wanted to die as quick as possible to get the second contest before Scion is able to capture the second point. Doesn't really look like that's going to happen, but you never know with the speed of this hamster.
Yeah, Crimson going to be trying to come in, bowl right onto point, but the contest not going to quite be there. And for that, Shadow Jr. looks like they're going to take the downfall of it, going in just a little bit too late, a little bit post facto, and with that, the Wrecking Ball continues to roll through. Chime getting dropped on, has not found much success on this tour, but quite yet. You gotta wonder why they're running it, Moshi.
I definitely do. It could be for the lulz, it could be for the fun, and maybe they have some secret hidden ninja strat in mind that my small brain just can't fathom. So we know that these are, you know, high quality teams, and they gotta have a plan of some sort.
Yeah, Gummy gonna be taken out early into this fight, but Chime once again fallen as well. The Dragons coming through, splitting the team up, or at least putting them in a very uncomfortable position. Music Box stuck between a rock and a hard place, that hard place being the pile driver of a ball. And right now, Shadow Jr. going to be cleaning up the supports. If they can just get back to point, it's looking reclaimable for Astray. But with Nub dropping that cart, continues to get closer and closer towards that. Going to be Chime on the Tracer, giving up on the Torb after all. Just trying to do a little bit of stall. And these Wrecking Balls trying to do so much damage. Shadow Jr. even popping in on the Bastion, trying to just lay down beads of force on anybody that comes within line of sight. Niche going to be taking them down to no avail, however. The Doofus right-click on the Nub doesn't claim the life, but does knock them away from hard contest range. It is looking so dangerous for the defenders right now, but Crimson getting the kill on the Niche helps them secure that future a little bit better. And it looks like Cohesion, or Scion rather, lacking in numbers, but gonna be able to still have some fight left in them. Shadow Jr. again switching onto the Widowmaker this time, claiming PMA Jellies. And Gummy taking an anti-nade, trying to use that breather, finding no success in it. And now Tracer's on the field, trying to just claim anything they can. Cohesion continuing to try to stall out. You gotta think at a certain point when you just back off of this fight, and when does it become prudent to not. Luke Mino getting the triple kill, saying now is certainly not the time. And with that, Crimson, the last to fall after a punch into Music Box. That's gonna be the claim here from Scion. What an intense last fight.
Man, there was no way for them to contest Luke Mino there on the high ground, right? We saw Baptiste sit up there forever, right? There was no range. Even the Bastion just didn't have sights on them right from the beginning. And I think that's what the pressure from that won them the last fight, along, of course, with their 3K.
Yeah, some big kills coming in here, and not to be outdone, Astray. Gonna be falling once again to Scion. This is potentially the last map that Scion has to win. They might be looking for a clean 3-0. Astray at least got to be looking like they're having a little bit of fun out there.
Based on their picks, I would think so, right? Like, they're picking Torb, they're picking Bastion. They want to take those 1v1s, get some, you know, elite gamer strats in, and I think that's, you know, something they want to do. They want to. That's the best thing that they can bring to Scion right now, is kind of just to have fun. And if that's what they're doing, that's a great plan. They're doing it right. So I think if they want to get serious and really bring it in, they could run meta strats and kind of do that kind of thing. It might give them an advantage based on the powerful heroes that are the meta right now. Anyways, we're going to see a map ban from Scion Esports. Looks like it's going to be Eichenwald as we wait on Astray's map pick.
Yeah, and Astray not proving too successful on King's Row. I hope that for them that wasn't their clutch pick. I hope they weren't trying to lean on that to get some leverage here, because if you're leaning on your best map and you lose that, it's going to be a very tough spot. That being said, I don't think Astray did too poorly on King's Row. They were definitely kind of making a show for themselves up until they got to that last few meters on that third point. Got held up just a little bit too much. And while we're talking about the potential for this to be the last map, I want to remind you guys, get those MVP votes in now. At the very end, it looks like the map pick is going to be going up, and I'm liking it, folks. Looks like we're going to be going on to Watch Point Gibraltar. So if you liked Nich's monkey play earlier, you're going to be perhaps seeing a little bit more of it now.
Very much so. We may even see Farah on this map. Due to the wonderful verticality that we can see. Also, there's bunches of wonderful high platforms. Widowmaker may be a pick, more of a main pick on this. Able to kind of get some sneaky headshots, lots of long sight lines, using that high ground to stay in a position where you can easily escape. But again, you got to be careful of opposing divas and Winstons that are going to come attack you due to their own but especially Diva's newly buffed mobility. So just gonna have to be careful, and I think we're gonna see an interesting composition here. We've seen that in the past. Roadhog, Orisa, Junkrat, like they're just bringing out what they want to play right now, and it seems to be working out well for Scion.
Yeah, and one thing I feel like doesn't get talked a whole lot about when we talk about Gibraltar, there's also a lot of potential for snipers here. This map is probably one of the more open maps, I'd say, through and through. You have a lot of sight lines. Of course, Hangar, such a good spot for Widow if they're able to claim positioning on that ship. And yes, Dive is run pretty consistently, but I sometimes think that a good Widow can kind of circumnavigate that, or at least have the team to peel for them. So I'm looking forward to seeing if either of these teams going to be breaking out the Purple Lady this time around. To have about 15 seconds before those gates open. Once again, if you're liking what you're seeing, be sure to drop us those Discord joins, give us those Twitter follows, all that good stuff. Also, check out our YouTube if you want to see any of our past games. And with 5 seconds, it looks like the doors to Gibraltar are just about to open.
They're going to clash right here on the high ground. They want to try to take Astray by surprise. So we're going to see what they can do here. Getting a kill right off the bat on the Train Cloud.
Yeah, if shock and awe was definitely their intent, they succeeded it there. Gummy claiming the headshot onto Nub. It's going to be looking good. As we mentioned, that Widowmaker can be so potent if given the opportunity. Gummy continuing to just claim value on this high ground. This Winston in a very tough spot, soon to fall. Niche actually on the McCree right now.
Hey, well, looks like there's a few off classes coming in. They know what they want to do, they know what they're doing, and they're just going to try to have some fun with it. So that's great news for Scion. They feel confident, and they definitely think that they are going to go all the way with this win here. We see the cart stalling out right at the first point, so they may be right.
Yeah, Music Box going to be getting an early kill for the attack. Train Cloud claiming the life of Gummy as well. And it looks like this is the best opportunity that the attack has had so far. These Widows kind of were dueling it out just a little bit, but the backup going to be coming through. And it looks like the cart finally going to be heading towards that car wash.
We see Psy on the backline being staggered and messed with infinitely. Probably looks like, it looks like they popped Primal try to get back to their team. Anyways, Scion still holding defensively strong as they use their picks to leverage their advantage.
Yeah, and that was pretty surprising considering it was looking a little bit favorable for the attack right there. But Scion, again, able to claim it back. This is a very strong team. You cannot fault the side of Astray for that. And right now we're seeing Gummy take down Train Cloud. Niche going to be popping that Deadeye, claiming one off the back of Crimson. Music Box taking a little bit of a nap, meaning that no ult charge going to be coming through right now. And with that, the final kill on the Music Box going to seal this up for the defense once more.
So Scion is just getting the kills everywhere, right? It seems like Astray is kind of just pushing in one at a time. You know, we see this sometimes from, you know, players and teams that may not have played together nearly as much as someone like Scion, but we know that Astray has a bunch of ringers right now, so it could be the result of that, and that would be quite unfortunate, but they're giving it their all, and it looks like they're trying to still win their 1v1s.
Yeah, this Roadhog getting kind of bullied by the Primal Winston as well as the Genji right now. Not quite able to be finished off though. Luke Mino so low, but in the meantime, Sai going to be claiming some kills as well. Gummy continues to put the hurt. These Widowmakers have each other out right now.
Yeah, they just want a duel, right? We see Traincloud and Gummy just like, they're just shooting shots and at each other, focusing each other. And you know, as a Widow, that's what you want to do because it takes the pressure off of the rest of your team.
Yeah, a very unfortunate jump in from Chime, trying to make it back to spawn. Music Box trying to unleash the blade, but takes the fall for it. Gummy there to clean up after the anti-nade coming in, and both Widows standing toe-to-toe, just trying to claim the headshots. Gummy gonna get the melee onto Traincloud with a little bit of assistance from their friend inside. Sai gonna be popping that Primal, trying to knock the opposing Winston into the pit. Comes so close, uses the jump, ends up making it into the pit. The high noon coming out once again from Niche to clean up on the Music Box, and with that, Traincloud gonna be walking away with one of the few kills this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Astray is just stuck in spawn here, whether it's because of their own decisions or not. It seems like they're still trying a little bit. Scion is just an impenetrable wall right now.
Yeah, it is looking so good for the side of Scion. It is 15 seconds and the cart's only moved about 40 meters. The res almost comes through for Crimson, but it does not quite. Traincloud taking the head of PMA. Jellies is the only respite this team can get. Chime also getting the pin onto Cohesion. Might be an advantage here. The cart's going to finally start moving, but can they make it move far enough? Traincloud hopped onto this Reaper. Might be enough to make it work here.
Well, we see the offense now on the cart in overtime, so maybe they're trying to show off by taking it all the way to the end at 99% or in overtime. And that would be quite impressive, but based on Scion, I think they're going to see quite the rebuttal here, and the cart is now further than it's been since their first push.
Yeah, Niche claiming the life of Traincloud gives an early man advantage to the side of Scion. We're going to be seeing Niche take the high ground, high noon, and in fact getting 2 kills off the back of it. Shadow Jr. and Crimson going to be dropped at the time of 12 o'clock. And with that, barely gets through Car Wash for first on Astray side.
Not the worst distance, but you know, that's what Scion wanted, right? Like, just stay at first. We'll take this game. Don't worry about it. We'll see you later. Like, it's just been a downward performance from Scion, and that's sometimes how these matches go. Whether it's due to skill or decisions made by the team, or just the luck of the draw. But now we're going to see Scion on offense. I predict that they're going to be able to take it to that capture point where Astray left it.
That is a very bold prediction, but one I will certainly have to agree with. It's certainly not impossible. It's in fact probably more impossible for the defense right now.
Right. They would pretty much Scion would pretty much just have to stay in spawn and swing on the swing on the whiteboard that you always. We have a pause now. Anyways, probably due to just player disconnecting. Looks like Luke Mino may have disconnected, but we don't know for sure. Oh, it was Sai. Sai has disconnected, unfortunately. While we wait for that, though, remember, guys, remember to vote for your MVP in the MVP poll. We love to see it, and we love to get your feedback on that. Shout out to everyone watching right now. It's been a great match so far, and we're glad that you guys are tuning in.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be getting the ready here from Cohesion and team, just about ready to get everybody back into server, get their heroes selected, and get rolling right back out. Not the worst place to kind of lose a connection in when you have that prep phase, and very early into the prep phase, you don't have to worry about your team getting too staggered or one man short or losing ult charge, anything like that. So with that, a pretty good opportunity here. As well, just gives the teams a little bit more opportunity to talk about strategy, if strategy is even on any of these players' minds right now. I think we're seeing a little bit more of a relaxed game here on Gibraltar, and it's Gibraltar, so I can't complain too much.
It's a nice map to play. Definitely some unique comps that come out, right? Like I mentioned earlier, we see a lot of mobile heroes and those widows, they're here, right? So we have those sight lines. Just do that way you can see across the map anywhere. Widow is deadly on this map, and that's why we see Widow v Widow, right? Because they want to shut each other down. So definitely a casual map though, and they're kind of going for their 1v1s, kind of showing off.
And I mean, you know, we still have potentially a few more games if we're able to see a massive hold come in from Astray, but I think Chime already made one of my favorite plays, getting a Torb hammer kill, if memory serves, back on Gardens, or back on Oasis rather. So I think that we're kind of seeing these teams just take it as it goes. With that, we're going to be finally seeing the pause come back offline. We're going to be seeing the teams get ready, get bolstered down, and this might very well, Moshi, be the last stand for Astray. Do you think they can pull it through here?
I wouldn't say I'm hopeful, but I would love to see it, right? That would be a great demonstration of skill and team or sportsmanship. So as long as they give it their all, I think that's the best we can ask for at this point. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. Through the power of friendship, anything is achievable. Those walls going to be dropping. However, Cohesion and Luke Mino on that tank duo of Ball and Diva. And immediately, Sai getting picked by Chime, a big right click into the wall. And now it's looking pretty good for the defensive side. The kills definitely coming in. Perhaps looking a little bit advantageous for them right now. But again, I have a feeling we've only seen Scion at a quarter power so far.
Very much so. They just switched up their offensive duo. Now they have Widowmaker and Pharah. They know that Pharah can kind of deal with Reaper and a bunch of heroes that are currently on the defensive team.
Yeah, Shadow Jr. going to be taking down Luke Mino to start. And the shield from Train Cloud going up immediately into the face of Gummy, preventing that Widow from getting too much long lines of sight as much as possible anyway. And right now, it looks like the side of Scion has regrouped and gotten themselves bolstered into this little hallway. They're trying to push up onto the defending team, but they are not having it right now. This defending team does not want to drop. In fact, it will be Sai who drops first on that Ana. And the Mortar Coalescence is going to be coming out from Music Box, keeping everybody healed as well. Train Cloud taking down Gummy. Finally, that shield providing just as much cover as was needed. Shadow Jr. doing their job on McCree, taking down PMA Jellies on that Pharah, the former support player, getting taken out of the sky with their wings.
Well, defense is looking strong right now. Scion may just be messing with them a little bit, though. And, I mean, if they win or not, that's fine with them. I'm sure a lot of things could go wrong for Scion here on this first attack point.
Certainly a lot of potential for some screw-ups, but with the Diva Bomb coming in, it doesn't look like that's going to quite find true just yet. Shadow Jr. taking down Cohesion, but finally the kills coming through from Cohesion. The sound barrier coming in, however, to bolster the defense. Astray trying to claim it back. Nub and Chime looking to do exactly that. The Pharah Rocket Barrage coming in, claiming Nub, but Shadow Jr. once again on that McCree, able to claim the life of PMA Jellies. And with this, the defense still looking moderately strong.
Well, we see now Zenyatta come out. Niche is on Zenyatta, going to try to use those orbs as his previous tank experience has allowed him to aim extremely precisely.
Yeah, and right now Train Cloud using that grab flux to slam the opponents into the ground, as we're seeing now the kills once again leading in favor of Scion Esports. It looks like this time they will maintain that momentum. They're going to carry the cart. It's going to have to be a last moment contest, as there's very few members of the field left for Astray.
Pretty much only the Doomfist here sneaking around. They're going to find him probably, but only 50 meters left. They're going to have to get there if they want to contest. In the face of this grab, it's going to be difficult.
It certainly will, and right now, too many members of the Scion squad falling right now. Astray looking to claim it back at the last moment. That kill onto Ana was crucial. Diva getting hit with an accretion rockets. The two tanks stuck kind of in a little side room, in server room. And this is Zarya looking a little out of sorts, trying to just not get staggered, but that's exactly what's going to happen from the end of Nub.
Now there's only 4 basically able to attack. 30 seconds left for the attack, so they're going to have to bring things out. They have 2 ults, almost there with the Deadeye from Gummy, so I think they could do it in the face of 0 ults on the side of Astray. So
yeah, they're certainly going to have to try here. Sai having that nano boost, might try to give it to Gummy. having that high noon just rank down those enemies if possible. We're going to hear that high noon popped. Gummy claiming one off the back. Shadow Jr. then cleaning up on to the McCree themselves. Scion, finally the kills are coming in for him. The Transcendence there to keep everybody healthy, wealthy, and wise. And with that, nobody left to contest the cart. Just going to slowly move towards the point. Nobody to contest. It's going to go in favor of Scion in a neat 3-0.
Yeah, Scion taking it 3-0 without too much trouble. Looking really strong out there. Able to play a little bit of off-classing. And yeah, let's watch this beautiful play of the game by Nietzsche.
Yeah, a little disappointed I didn't see the Winston come out from Niche, but they gotta have been feeling confident enough. A nice headshot onto the Widowmaker, some decent cleanup as well. As soon as that Immortality Field falls, the 2 kills from the Deadeye.
Definitely deadly there, Nietzsche on the even on the McCree, right? Who is usually a tank player, but wonderful and beautiful to see. Great job to both teams, and I wish Astray best of luck in the lower bracket.
Yeah, certainly will not be the last we've seen of Astray, which, if you've been liking the nutty comps you've been seeing, probably a pretty good thing. There's still potential for some Torb, some Bastion coming out here, but certainly not in the main bracket. While we have a minute, folks, don't forget that MVP vote down in the bottom. We will be wrapping up with a post-match interview here very shortly, so make sure you let us know who you think was popping off. And while we have a minute, just doing our casual thing. Games are over, so now might be a good time to go follow those Twitters. Go check out the YouTube if you want to see Scion perform to this level, or you want to see, what else Astray has broken out in the past. See if they've maybe maneuvered any more messy comps around, unconventional comps, I should say. It's not a BM on my part, but yeah, check out those YouTubes, check out the Twitter, Discord, as well. We love having you here on Twitch. Give us those follows if you're so inclined as we wait for those votes to pour in.
Yeah, and if you want to see Scion go all the way to the finals like last All-Star Brawl, feel free to support them. I'm sure they have plenty of wonderful social media they will tell you about if we interview someone from their team. Anyways, what an interesting match. I mean, I feel like it started out pretty serious, and then it slowly got a little bit like okay, we're gonna have some fun, and that's totally cool, right? We love it. Like, teams should have fun when they want to, and that's kind of it seems like both teams made the decision together, and that's totally cool. So.
Yeah, and I know that those of you at home might not have been able to see the chat. Not a whole lot of toxicity here. So far, it seems very cordial between these two teams. Both just kind of having a fun time talking to each other. The sportsmanship definitely there. I would urge not to get the impression that Scion was, BMing Astray by going off rolls, or Astray was trying to be rude to Scion by going Bastion or whatever. Just a little bit more of a relaxed game that we've seen overall. And sometimes I do think that these tier 3 teams just need to have that fun game, remind them at its core what Overwatch is about.
Yeah, it's not like we've seen lore updates in a while, so they're going to have to use the game to have fun. So that's definitely what happened here.
Now, Moshi, as we are kind of wrapping up these MVP votes, were there any plays in particular that kind of stood out to you throughout our entire match here tonight?
Definitely the initial Bastion Torb pick. They bunkered up on the kind of the lower garden area of Oasis, and that definitely took Scion by surprise. At that point in the game, they were very serious, and this that positioning really made it so they were impenetrable from then on. So that was quite impressive. And from Astray, and I think Scion basically just winning 1v1s almost every time was pretty awesome too. So those are probably my highlights.
Yes, and as we talk about highlights and plays of the games and MVP votes, we're going to be joined by none other than Cohesion. Cohesion, what? Tell us about the off-roll picks that you guys were going through in Watchpoint.
Yeah, so we've been scrimming for a couple weeks on these off rolls. We really wanted to show up today, impress the fans out there. We know we have a lot. I've been practicing the Diva, PMA, grinding Widow, and ranked. So we just wanted to put on a show.
Well, we definitely appreciate that, and thanks for putting that on for us. How do you feel like about like the maps that you picked, or like the bands that you picked? Because you didn't get to pick a map, you only picked the bands. What was your theories behind those map bans?
Yeah, so the maps that we banned, we really aren't that good at them. We tried to play them in scrims, but we ended up losing. So we just wanted to stay away from those maps. The ones that they picked were pretty good for us, so it turned out well.
Definitely seems that way. Anything you want to ask, Waltham?
Yes. So I do know that we were seeing kind of all those swaps and all of that fun stuff. Me and Moshi were talking a little bit how this was a little bit more casual. It seemed a little bit more fun when you came to those swaps and all that kind of stuff. But if we take it back to when it seemed at least that it was the most sweaty, I want to talk about Gardens on Oasis, because we saw the Bastion Torb come out, and that seemed to have kind of caught you guys off momentum or off balance a little bit. Was there a method that you guys had in particular for dealing with it, and what was it? Because you reclaimed it in university.
Well, our comp should have worked, but Psy kind of threw the game for us, so we had to put him on our back. He underperforms a lot, but we're trying to teach him how to play better. And I think if he just played the set comp, it would have been a lot easier.
Well, certainly seems that the results are showing cohesion. Congratulations on you guys' overall victory. Thanks for coming in here, just answering a few questions with us. Before we let you go, I do want to give you a few opportunities to give any shout outs to anybody you might be appreciative of right now.
Shout out to Nitch for being the carry every game. Shout out to Jeremy for paying us $5K a month. Scion Esports, sponsored by Toyota, and thank you guys for the interview.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Cohesion. Good luck on your next games, my friend. Now, Moshi, as we do move forward into the rest of the main brackets, we've seen a dominant performance of Scion. I have an anticipation that they're going to cut strongly through the rest of this main bracket, if not pretty much uncontested. What are your predictions? Do you have any anticipations for what we might be seeing throughout the rest of the tournament?
Well, depending on who wins, through the ranks and who they meet in the finals, that may be the point, like the only point that Scion is really contested. They're an amazing team, and it's shown basically every time that they've played. There's almost no way for them to be contested so far. So someone's going to have to just meet their level of awareness and skill and composition knowledge going forward, map knowledge, positioning, just everything, right? These teams have to play on a whole other level to meet Scion, and so that's what I want to see, and I want Scion to be able to have a good match here in this tournament.
Yeah, certainly many exciting things to be seen as we continue to move on. But for now, that will be it for this presentation of the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl number 5. For your casting entertainment, I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitch or Twitter at Sir Waltham.
I've been Moshi Man, your color caster, and you can catch me on Twitter at Moshi Man and on YouTube at Moshi Man, and of course Twitch. I believe I am also Moshi Man, but I do not stream, so don't find me there.
And for those of us here at the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And if you liked what you saw, I got good news. In a little under an hour, we will have another game taking place, match number 15 in the main bracket, if I'm not mistaken. So be sure and catch that as well if you are so inclined. But for me, for Moshi Man, and for all of us here at the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl, thank you for tuning in. We hope you guys have a great night and stay safe out there, everybody.